What does a TikTok that gets 2 billion views pay you?
The answer is I can't track the exact thing, but I have a guess.
Okay.
There was no monetization at the time.
Oh. Right.
So also there's that.
There's that.
I think I'm guessing about is what it would pay for a billion per billion views.
What? What's up, guys? Before we begin today's episode with Zach King, I need to tell you that I'm going on tour. JasonNashTour.com, starting in Boston, July 7th at Laugh Boston. The next night, on July 8th, I'll be in Philadelphia at Helium. After that, I'll be in Orlando, Tampa, Austin, Phoenix. I've got 18 shows planned this year. I'm even trying to add a show in Chicago. So Chicago, that'll be announced soon. And I've been doing stand-up again. I've been performing over at Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank, and I'm working on new material. It's really fun, and I cannot wait for you guys to see. And I'm going to be talking about the last few years of my life, how crazy it's been, and then we'll do a little Q&A after, and then of course there'll be a meet and greet in all the cities. If you want to come meet me, you can do that too. Again, that's JasonNashTour.com. Anyway, enjoy today's episode with Zach King, and my thanks to Zach for coming on. Guys, welcome back. We're here. What a freaking amazing, truly an amazing person we have here today, an amazing guest, somebody that I've been following since my days on Vine. We're so excited. We get the best guests here on the All Good Things podcast. Zach King is here. Incredible filmmaker, content creator. Dude.
You know what's crazy about the Vine days, though?
Yeah.
We were on there together, and I don't know if we never collaborated.
Nope.
And that's on me because I never collaborated with anybody, like, for so many years.
Yeah.
But now I wish I did.
Well, you're so busy with your videos are so labor intensive and they're so well set up. Like,
I would feel bad because I'd collaborate with people and then the videos, like, sometimes they just don't work.
Right.
And you're like, well, I had you out for a day and then we shot the thing and then it didn't work and then I feel bad. So, like, collaborations for me are a big deal because I want to promise, like, we're actually going to put it out.
Yes.
And then, so I ended up not. And that's also personality wise. Like, I ended up sitting in at the time, my editing cave just by myself, editing them out. And I was like a loner. But then you had the whole Vine group and all you guys out there collaborating. And I remember the first time I came to your group, it was out with, like, Amanda. I don't know if you were there in the first time.
Amanda Batch, Paige Kennedy,
on Vine in Hollywood in the apartments. And I started doing VFX for a lot of their videos. And that's kind of how I learned. It was like, I remember it was when I posted on Vine, people were like, you're late. What are you doing trying to join? Like, because there was a set group. It was like, you guys already starting. And I was like, I'm only 9 months late. Looking back. And then over the time, like, the audience, whatever, it didn't become a thing. But I remember there was, like, a stigma in the beginning. It was like, you're late. You can't join this platform. They've already got their creators set.
Oh, that's insane. And then you just passed everybody.
And then it was just, I mean, that app was just crazy. There's been nothing like it. Like, TikTok has versions of it in terms of growth.
Tell me about that. Tell me what you think between Vine and TikTok, since you've conquered both.
I mean, you can't, like, compare them in terms of the culture is still very different to me. Yeah. But, like, the growth, you've just never quite seen. I don't know. It's weird. Like, videos are viral, but what was different, I feel like if what I posted on TikTok, it actually went out to my whole audience. Every time you could, like, you knew that Vine was going to do well. And if it was a great joke or a great bit or a great trick or whatever, then it did extra well. But it always hit an audience.
Yes.
And whereas TikTok now, I mean, you'll post and it could be like, I don't know if this is going to hit 1 million views. Like, it's kind of random. It is a little bit.
Does it rely on the thumbnail at all on TikTok?
Well, we don't optimize any thumbnail other than, like, selecting. Yeah. I guess what you could do is put a frame at the end if you wanted a glitch, like, to fully customize a thumbnail. Right. But then it would be part of the video. Yes. You can't upload and choose a thumbnail.
But do you put a lot of work into your thumbnails on TikTok?
Not at all. No. It's whatever's in the video is one of the frames.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's no work there.
But if you pick something good from it, does it do better or doesn't?
I haven't tested. We haven't tested that.
That must be tough for you if you put, especially when you put, like, a lot of money into your tricks, a lot of effort into these. Am I using the right word? Tricks?
I call them tricks just because that's what the audience says. It's like the easiest thing. Like, I don't think about it too much. Although technically for magicians, like, I want to be respectful there. Like, I'm not a magician.
I loved one of your videos. You said that. You were like, listen, I'm not supposed to show all magicians aren't supposed to show all their tricks, but I'm not a magician. I'm a filmmaker.
I don't want to peeve anybody off out there. Like, that has, because being a magician is like its own craft. And I know that because I did it all the way through elementary through high school. And
you were a magician.
I was a magician. I would go to, like, that was one of my things in high school to raise money for my camera gear because I was into filmmaking, was to go to do birthday parties. And I knew all like the classic, 20 tricks that you do at a birthday party and that pretty much are fail safe. They always work.
Can you do one right now?
I can't because, and I stopped because it is literally such a craft.
Yeah.
That if I were to do one now, I would have to like work on that. Like it's like playing the piano. It's like you don't want to perform unless you actually know you can do the piece really well.
Yeah.
But to keep that up takes so much work.
I thought about your videos a lot over the last couple of days, and I watched probably almost all of them. But the thing I thought about you was I watch your videos. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I love them. And then there's a point where you get frustrated.
Because you're trying to figure them out?
Because you're trying to, at least for me, I get frustrated. So I'll watch it. I watch a reel of yours 11 times.
Dang.
Going like, how, and then I found your YouTube channel, which is awesome because you explain, and I guess you do it on TikTok too. You'll post the video and then the next day you'll post how you did it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't find that at first, like yesterday, but I really love when you can explain it. Even I've watched you even explain them and I still don't understand.
Yeah. My favorite are the behind the scenes that when you see them, it elevates the trick even more. Like we don't post all the behind the scenes because sometimes it's just like
it cheapens it.
Exactly. It's like knowing how the trick is done.
Yep.
But that's why I love filmmaking. Sometimes when you know the behind the scenes to a movie, you go into it and you're like, whoa, I really appreciate. Like I was just watching behind the scenes to a movie called Creep.
Yep.
And it's a movie about crocodiles in underwater. And like I was looking at how like you might watch that movie and never realize that they had to spend months in the water, like creating the scene. And like, but that's what I geek out about.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes and how they actually pull off the movie magic.
Is that the best feeling for you is when you figure out a trick? You figure out, oh wait, because I saw you doing something, you're on a rock wall.
Yeah.
Basically.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, I want to make it so I go from the rock wall to actually being mountain climbing.
Yeah, right.
How do I do this?
Yeah.
Do I do it with a drone? And then you said in the video, you're like, it's actually my favorite thing is when I figure
it out.
Yeah.
I love the process on the way to figure out.
Yeah.
If you fully embrace it. Like I see a lot of, especially if you're a new team member and you join the team, I think it can be frustrating to figure out like that is a part of the process. You have to love the part of like figuring out. It's really figuring out a mystery of like, we know there's a solution somewhere. It's either going to cost a ton of money or it's different ingenuity or it's a certain software or camera. And or it's just rethinking creatively. Like maybe it's the wrong trick. Like there's plenty of tricks we could do on a cliff, but maybe we need to pick a different one and like approach it. Like a lot of, I don't know, like we work backwards sometimes. It's like we want the audience to feel this way.
Yeah.
How can we design a trick that actually gets that feeling? It doesn't have to be the first idea you have for the, like there's a ton of versions of a trick that could get that feeling.
Yeah.
And so we'll try to reverse engineer it. And
the Harry Potter one that has 2 billion views on TikTok. How did you do that? Can we see that, Ferris? I've watched it. I don't know. Over the last 4 years, I've probably watched it 100 times.
That's sick. We got a TV screen in the frame. Let's go, Ferris.
That's you, right?
Yeah, that's
you got
me,
glasses.
yeah.
You look different with glasses.
Oh, well, that's for the Harry Potter, outfit.
Yeah. Well, this is the perfect idea, obviously, because it's Harry Potter. People love Harry.
Already a big fan base.
Just loves Harry Potter. But can we see it again? Okay, so freeze it. Okay, so, dude, your legs are there. The broom is there. What am I looking at right now?
I am floating. You're looking at...
I know you're floating. What am I actually looking at?
You are looking at hours and hours of... So there, I'm on a skateboard.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, so the whole mirror gag, I have the mirror in my hand.
You feel so stupid watching your videos. I was watching one today, and you take 2 bottles of water out of the freezer, and you're like, and you pour it, and then ice starts.
Well, that's real.
Ice starts coming up.
That's real. Because
I almost turned to Jess, and I almost turned to you, and I was like, am I watching real ice, or is this an edit?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's real?
That's real.
No, it's not.
That is a science. That's a thing. Like Mark Rober.
Zach, you don't go like this and things get frozen.
No, so you do. I don't remember that video's a long time ago, but that's a classic science experiment that like your kids could do.
Okay.
You put it, it's something about putting it in the, I can't remember the temperature,
So stupid.
but you put the water bottle in a fridge, and when it gets to a certain temperature, you take it out right. It's like within a degree of that, you have to do it. And so we were measuring the water, and that video took a week to make just because we had to get that consistency right.
Right.
And because you're talking about, it turns to instant slushy.
Instant slush.
And that's a real thing.
Oh, that was real.
And so, but that's what's fun. Like if you mix some real things, with the visual illusions, then you have then you confuse people.
I'm gonna stick with King Batch's videos. I understand all those.
Yeah.
You know, girl with big booty shows up.
But yeah, you're right.
Yours, I'm like, I don't know. Okay, let's go back to this. So, what am I seeing here?
So we're on a skateboard.
Ferris gave it a like.
For liking it.
2.2
we needed
likes.
that. Yeah, so I'm on a skateboard and there's a mirror and a leg duplication happening.
Okay, so I'm looking at a mirror right now.
Because I can see the mask line in the shadow here. You can tell it's a little too hard. Like, we probably need to feather that a little more. But
I gotta go back in.
So we're definitely doing some sort of pavement replacement.
So that's a mirror.
Well, that's what's trippy about this, because we reveal it's the backside of the mirror.
Okay, so go ahead. Let's see. Let's freeze it. What am I seeing here?
So you're seeing another harsh mask line right here, because we're taking out the long board.
Okay, you're taking it out and you're putting the legs in.
Yes.
I got you. And where do the legs come from?
Rip all of your audio listeners. They're like, what are they looking? What are they doing?
Guys, just if you're on audio, I've got to get to the bottom of this, how he did the Harry Potter video. Go.
All right, and so the mirror reveals there, and then we've got, this is the actual reflection of a leg, because if you put something up to a mirror, it's going to replicate the side. Because you'll notice the foot, I have two left feet, like that left foot is still a left foot.
Yes,
there.
it is. Okay.
And I mean, you can start to see this is, what's trippy, I think we took this and put it back there. But because technically it wouldn't reflect, it'd be reflecting.
Is this something that you go out and shoot and then bring it into the edit and it's not right and you got to go shoot it again?
Yeah, I remember specifically on this one, we didn't do a lot of that. We just shot it. It was a random idea. It was Halloween, and I feel like some of the holidays, I don't know if you have this, you'll do bits where you're like, oh shoot, it's Valentine's. I got to make a video like this week because it's tomorrow. That was one of these. It was like Halloween. We're like, oh, we should do a costume thing, random costume selection. We have Harry Potter. Let's do that. And then we go out and shoot it. And then usually our videos, like, they take a long time.
Yeah.
And we'll go out and shoot them and come back and actually compare them in the edit and go back and shoot them and redo. It's a whole like process. Whereas this one, I remember specifically, we like went out and shot. We're like, doesn't matter if it fails, we can shoot something else.
Yeah.
And then it worked out. And once we saw the edit, we're like, whoa, that's kind of interesting.
And then right there is
and then we're on a
mirror.
skateboard, the classic, Casey Neistat boosted board.
Incredible. What does a TikTok that gets 2 billion views pay you?
So there was a kid who came out with a video. The answer is I can't track the exact thing, but I have a guess.
Okay.
There was no monetization at the time.
Oh.
Right. So also there's that.
There's that.
But I think I'm guessing about $7,000 is what it would pay for a billion per billion views. That's my guess.
What?
That's my guess. That's my guess.
A billion views?
And the guesstimate there, we just hit 1 billion likes on all the videos. I don't know how many views. I bet you can look that up, right?
Yeah.
But the total creator fund is like 54,000 since it started.
That's
for my
all
account.
You've made on TikTok.
So if I'm guessing
with
maybe 10 billion views
Sounds
so far.
Sounds about right. 7,000, 10 billion views.
Okay, yeah, that's the guess.
But your money is not made in TikTok. Your money is made with the brands, and right. You have tons of brand deals. What's the biggest? You don't have to give me money wise, but what was a brand that you worked with that you were like super excited about, or is there something that you loved?
There's a lot. I mean, one of them that comes to mind. We had a great relationship with Amazon, and they had the Amazon Alexa, and they had a campaign that was perfect for me because it was like, let's do something fictional, like have Alexa do something that is not possible in the real world. And so we pitched them this idea, like, what if the Alexa, you could say like, take me on my vacation or my underwater diving experience. And the room would like, all of a sudden water would just start flooding up and it would be an aquarium.
Sick.
Wow, you pulled that up fast.
Just quick.
So you can see here, I'm saying something like, Alexa, start my vacation routine or something.
Incredible.
And then it floods. But the way we did it, the reason it was so fun is because when I was pitching it to Amazon, I was like, they were like, how are you going to do it? And we're like, well, we're going to flood a room. And they're like, oh, can't you like green screen it so it's a little easier? And we tested that. You can do a technique in filmmaking, which is called dry for wet, which is where you actually suspend them for the underwater look on wires. Wow. And then you probably know this because you did acting and Did you ever do a dry for wet scene?
Never.
They're pretty
No,
common.
tell me about it.
They're kind of cool. So you rig up on stunts, you're floating, and you put fog in the room, and you put usually like a black backdrop back there, and then you shoot in slow motion, and you add some wind on the clothing. So it gives you, in slow motion, it gives you that underwater, and it's actually very realistic. But we tested it, and there's other thing, like it doesn't, like, it's hard. You have to do lighting to get the ripple effects too. Yeah. All of the little things, like you'd have to put all, like you'll notice the fabric here is all lifting up because of physics and underwater, but you'd have to have that on string and timing probably like 15 different people puppeting things. So we just thought that's complicated. Little did we know we went to go shoot it for real, and that's also complicated. But
so you fill the room here.
So, well, we've learned that you can't, it's really difficult to fill a room because you have to have another tank next to the empty tank where the water's going to funnel.
Yep.
So you then have to do water management, which is really hard. So it's actually, we went to one of James Cameron's, the director of Titanic and Avatar and The Way of Water, one of his divers has a pool that's like, I can't remember, 20 something. It's the deepest pool in the LA area for underwater, like a pool where we could actually bring a crane, we had a set, and we drop it down. So when it looks like the water's filling up, the set's going down, and that's how we can pull off that move.
So the set is being submerged. Back it up first.
The set's being submerged, but the problem we had, like, it happens fast, and because like short form, you don't want to have a 30-second video where like it's taking 30 seconds to like fill up. People would be swiping away, unfortunately. So we ended up having to like do a version of not even speed ramping. It turned out to be a jump cut. So I would hold my breath right at the end of here. And then this is a CG simulation, and we use the real reference. And then there, the jump cut continues. So it was like, it turned out to be like a 2-minute breath hold because the set wouldn't go down fast enough for us. It was like, it got pockets of air underneath, which we kind of knew was going to happen, but it then would start leaning if there was too much air and then scrape the side of the diving pool. So it was just a complicated, we had to scoop out the air, like we had divers underwater pushing it down, and the bubbles would go out a different way.
And so, how are you doing as an actor in that scenario?
I thought that was fun for me. That's a fun challenge. I love when there's
holding your breath for 2 minutes is fun.
Yeah, it's fun to learn how to do that. That's a cool thing. I'm also into free diving, so that helped for sure.
Hey, have you ever gotten hurt doing these things? Because some of them, I mean, like the rock climbing.
I mean, knock on wood, I've never broken a bone yet.
I saw you. You smashed the top of a car with your knees, like the glass.
Yeah, that one actually did hurt. That one did give it. I get nervous now. I'm not like, I feel young. Yeah. But I'm 33, and the knee one, it took, like, I love running, and I had to take like a month off of running just because it was like dumb. It was like a little knee pad, and what was lame about that one,
Were you wearing knee pads?
Yeah, I was wearing knee pads. No, I wasn't wearing. I was wearing like everything else but knee pads. It was like elbow pads or whatever. But I wasn't supposed to hit my knees on the car windshield, and then it cracked it. But
yeah, it's when you get older.
But when you get older, all of a sudden I'm like, I got to take a month off running just because I was being dumb.
Well, you're not being dumb. It's just like anything can happen out there.
But on the stunts, we have learned not to push our luck. Like, I mean, we have been very lucky. We do stunts sometimes. Like, we did that maybe 30 or 40 times. Not the underwater one, but the car one or something. Yeah. And now when we do anything with ropes, it's like if we get it in the first 5 takes, we're not trying to perfect the last 2%. We're like, we got it.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're not going to get a twisted ankle or something.
And you did have a fall, right? When you were younger, when you were rock climbing?
Yeah, we did it. I mean, I did a ton of stuff.
So did you lose your...
What happened with the rock climbing one, the reason I got nervous is because I went rock climbing with a buddy, an old roommate, and we got stuck on Mount Baldy. And we had to get airlifted off, like with the chopper. When I was in college,
I saw footage of that,
and so that was what
It's interesting. You had footage of that.
Heights. I always had my iPhone. I filmed everything. Like, and I mean, ask my wife. She like hates it. I have a whole compilation of her being like, "Are you seriously filming again?"
Yeah.
But it's all that I just love capturing.
Sure.
You know? And like the family stuff, I don't even use online. It's just for my own home video archives.
How'd you get stuck on Mount Baldy?
So we were rock climbing this, and it was just funny. I'm not a rock climber. Neither of us were, but we went out because longer story. Do you remember when people were starting to send stuff to space, which is like up to like 90,000 feet or whatever?
Yeah.
It was like not to space technically, I think, but to the outer hemisphere.
Yeah.
Before you get to space. So iPhone 3 or 4 came out, and they had the first video camera that was like actually decent. And so I was like, it would be cool to send this to space. So we got permission with the FAA. We got these helium balloons, and we built a camera rig out of a foam cooler, you know, and put holes. And I stuck like 3 iPhone 4s in there and a GoPro and some other cameras, and filmed it going to space, like hit record and sent it. And it had a GPS in it, and it told me that it landed. So I was doing that from Fullerton, California, and went all the way to Mount Baldy.
That's where it landed.
It landed.
So you had to go get the footage.
Had to go get the footage. It's literally like almost on the peak of Mount Baldy, on the not main Mount Baldy, but like the next peak below it. It was on that one. And so,
how many days go by that it's sitting there? You go like that next day?
You know what? We lost signal for like a week, the GPS, and I thought it was gone. I was like, it's gone. And then randomly a week later, it showed up and it pinged on this GPS. Because I think I had it on the wrong setting where it was like save battery, but ping once a week kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so it pinged, and I was like, there's no way it's actually here. And that made sense with the wind patterns that day. Like we knew it would be somewhere in the kind of the mountain range. And of course, I look on Google, everything looks, even your neighborhood, it's funny. Like on Google, you're like, oh, it's like flat.
Yep.
But when you get there, you're like, and that's all of LA, but you get there, you're like, oh crap, there's the hills here. And so on that, like I had never done, at the time, there wasn't the 3D option on Google where you could like see your whole surroundings. So I naively go with my buddy to go rock climb. I didn't even know there'd be rock climbing involved. I thought it was like hiking to the top of the mountain. We get like 80% of the way there. And then we got to the point where we just freaked ourselves out. We're looking down like, oh shoot, we can't get back down. Like it's one of those things you could kind of like weasel your way up, maneuver up, get your footing, go slow. But then when you realize how many, we had gone, 4,000 feet, not straight vertical, but just up this mountain where it's like, we actually can't safely get down this.
Is it getting colder as you go up?
It was getting colder. It wasn't dark yet. It was like 5 o'clock, but we were also thinking through that. It was like, okay, by the time we didn't bring any flashlights, underprepared. I mean, it was like our bad for sure. And it's like, if we go down, we're going to get to our car at 11 p.m. It's dark. I mean, we weren't nervous about but you don't want to like misstep in the dark. No. And it's just, you just want to mess with nature like that.
No.
So,
so you called
my buddy called. We weren't calling for distress yet. He was just like, what would the total be? Like, what are we going to get charged? He called 911 and he was like, hey, I think we're stuck. What would it cost? Like, what's it going to cost us? Just because we could, if it's going to cost 10 grand, we are going to walk down. We're going to camp here overnight and walk down. Yeah. And figure out a different way. And she, all of a sudden, like 30 minutes, she had him online for a long time. Like, oh, well, where are you guys? Like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And so all of a sudden we hear a chopper and she's like, do you guys see a chopper? And we're like, wait, no, we don't want one necessarily. Like, what is it going to cost? And she's like, okay, they're going to be there, you guys in whatever. And then she was like, if you see them, wave, whatever. And then like 2 hours later, they were over. They had to go do a refuel and then come back. But I guess we found out later they were in the area doing a practice, and so they wanted to practice anyway. Yeah. But yeah, and it turns out it's zero. Taxpayer dollars. Right. For the helicopter. So
well, you've given the world so much good content. I think we're good.
Okay,
I'm happy to pay for that.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Because did you ever find the phone?
So we went back 2 more times later with a professional rock climbing gang that took us up, and we found it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Was the footage there?
It was all there. It was really cool. It was weird. Like, one of the iPhones didn't even record. It was back then, like, if something didn't finish, it would just delete, Yeah. So, like, the GoPro footage was there, but it was also shaky. One of them focused on the container and the hole, not the outside. It's a whole learning experience, but...
And did they drop, like, a ladder down? And you had to climb up the ladder?
No. So they drop a guy who comes down and rigs you up with a harness, and then they drop another wire and pull you up.
Damn.
Yeah. It's pretty
What a great story.
It's fun. It's fun for sure. I mean, but it is scary. I have a fear of heights already, and just, I don't know, there's something being up swinging. I remember when they move the chopper, you're still like dangling a little bit, and so you have that, kind of swinging momentum.
That's what I would be afraid of.
And it's freaky because you're realizing how tall you are next to these giant trees and oaks, and you're like, whoa, we're up here. You can see LA all the way from over there. So,
and how do you like being a dad?
Oh, the best job in the world. Yeah. Happy Father's Day, by the way.
You too.
Yeah.
What'd you do for your Father's Day?
You have
3 now?
I have 3 kids, a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-month. And so it was just, my weekends are like, I'm kind of a weird YouTuber. I'm not like, I mean, I guess I had my phase of doing the grind and working every single day.
Yeah.
During college mostly, and then early marriage.
Yeah.
But once I had kids, we kind of worked really hard to get our weekends free. Obviously, if I have to shoot, whatever, there's a production.
Right.
If I travel, that's that. But if, there's so much turbulence in our life, in our careers, like you randomly have to go somewhere or do an event or go to production, sometimes last minute, that the times that I'm actually home in LA, we just wanted to structure that for both like our own sanity and also our kids. So I work kind of 9 to 5. Right. I'll work after they go to bed, obviously, if my wife wants, and she wants her own time too in the evening. Yeah. Because she's been with the kids all day. So we kind of at 8 o'clock after the kids are down, we'll go do our own thing or watch a movie or hang out at home. But
how long have you been married?
9 years, going on 10. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm engaged.
Crazy. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Getting married in September.
Yeah. Well, have you guys announced where the wedding's going to be?
Yeah, we have a location. And,
cool.
And it won't be too big. And,
yeah.
And I've been with her for like a year, but I just met her and it's incredible.
Sometimes just
incredible.
With my wife, it was like I met and it was fast too. Like,
yeah,
it was weird because I'd never dated anybody like my entire life, but I was like, I think, and I don't believe there's like a person that's the one for you.
You don't?
No, but I think there's a lot of people that you could be great life partners with, compatible with.
I used to think that. I don't think that anymore.
You think it's the one?
Not the one. Not like it was sent down from the heavens, and we were like chosen to be together. But like the way that when I met her, she just was so much better than every other person that I'd ever been with. That it made me feel stupid. It made me go like, oh God, what was I doing? Now I understand what a partner's supposed to be.
Yeah.
We're also a big thing with us is we're exactly alike, which my whole life was told opposites attract.
Right. Compatibility, like the exact opposites, and
we're exactly alike.
Yeah.
The other night we were out and I had to go pick up my daughter and she's like, I'll take the ride with you. I was like, okay. She loves to do that. We just love to be together. And I said, I got to make a confession to you. I go, it's really hard for me to go out and pick Charlie up at 9:30 at night because I want to stop at McConnell's and get ice cream.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I have a confession to make with you. The only reason I came was because I was going to talk you into taking me to In-N-Out for a chocolate shake. And I was we're the same. We're the same.
That's so funny.
So it's just incredible. Okay. So
that's like me and my wife. I'm like, we'll be, where do you want to eat tonight? And I'm like, babe, this sounds so bad, but In-N-Out sounds so good. And she's like, I was hoping you would say that. Like, that's all, but.
And did you foster kids too?
Yeah, we fostered. We did that.
It's incredible. You're an incredible person.
Yeah.
Where did you come from? How come? How are you such a solid person?
That's all my wife. All my wife. It's all her ideas. I blame her.
Oh, I see.
Because she was a foster worker,
a
social worker here in LA. That's what she studied in school.
Yep.
We went to the same school. We met after we graduated, but I don't know. We're kind of like, maybe we're naive in a lot of the decisions, but it's also like very practical. We were like, there's an extra room. There's a need. LA has like the most foster kids, just because it's such a huge city.
Yeah.
And we were like, she would see the paperwork and the kids' faces come across her desk. And she's like, there's just not enough rooms. Like it's literally just, they need more rooms.
Yeah.
And so we're like, well, when we were living in a house at the time and it had an extra back room and we're like, oh, well, we could, we didn't have biological kids yet.
Right.
We were like, it'd be fun to.
And how long did you have foster kids for?
We did it probably about a year and a half after we were married. And then we had, 2 placements, and then our Mason, who is now adopted.
Yeah.
He's my oldest son.
Yeah.
So he's 6, so maybe we've had kids in our house since for 8 years or something.
Oh wow.
But it's great. It's not always easy for sure. There's just a lot of, you're trying to, a lot of people wonder, are you trying to foster to adopt? But really, if you go into it with that mindset, you're probably going to be, it's hard. Because the government, especially in California, is trying to get the kids back to their families. Ultimately, that probably is one of the, it's not always perfect, but that's the better solution for the overall system.
Yep.
To get the families healed, to get the parents, whatever their issues could be. And there's so many different issues, but it just affects everything. Like, I mean, the homeless problem, I can't remember the exact stats, but I think it's like somewhere, again, we should check this, but it's like 70% of homeless people have been in the foster system.
So
people that are
it helps people for life.
Yeah.
Having
so
those
you're
formative
trying
years.
to break the generational cycle for these families. And so taking in kids allows the opportunity for the families, the foster families, to get their stuff together, whether it could be a housing thing. I mean, that's what's heartbreaking. I used to totally do this. I would think about foster and I was like, well, isn't it the parents' fault? They did all these things. They made bad choices, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, when you look deeper in the problem, the root issues, it's like, they don't even have the same education I had to think about it that way.
Yeah.
They don't even have they really are coming from, like, their parents were foster kids and their parents were in some sort of system. And we're trying to help break in a small way with one family at a time, that generational problem. Yeah. And get them back on their feet.
I mean, I was homeless when I was a kid, and I had my mother, you know, she was just like, such a rock, you know, to get us out of that situation. Yeah. And thank God I did.
I didn't know that. What was the story?
We just like got evicted and stuff. And so then we'd go and like live with friends, or we'd go and live with my aunt. Or there was a time when,
how old were you?
I was like 13. I went and lived with my aunt for like an entire, like 6 months of a school year. And my mother stayed at my grandmother's, but only because my aunt lived in the town where my school was. Okay.
So it was
just easier. I could catch the bus every day.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think that's the right way to look at it. It's just like people are just not given the opportunities that I've been very lucky. Yeah. I've gotten so many, you know, lucky opportunities. So yeah, I want to get to the place in my life where I would like give back like that. Yeah. But I'm always so trying to keep myself afloat too.
It's tough. It's so interesting. Like, I used to talk about it and I'd be like, it's for everybody. Like, you could do it. And it's not that it's not, but I would be lying to you if I said it's easy.
No, it's not. It's not easy.
And it's just, but some people, I meet some people, I'm like, on our first pickup, for the first baby we got, we went to the parents' house to the foster family's house, and they had a row of 20 different not car seats, but the machines that swaddle the kids. Yeah. And we're like, why is there 20 here? And this family had done 250 kids in like 3 years, like just in the last couple of years. And there was already 5 kids there, and they were just the saint of a couple. And they were like 65, 70, retired, didn't need to do this with their life. But when they learned that they're just really good with babies, right, they embraced it. And like, I mean, that's the saint level, you know, but they make it look easy, but, cause I'm like drowning with one kid, and then let alone.
It's also hard when you're like your age, 33, cause we're thinking about having kids, and I know that this time around, I'll be better at it.
What's going to switch? Cause you've had a whole like life experience with raising kind of a full set of kids.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we started recording.
So what?
Dude, you're in for it. It's so crazy. Like, you're in it right now. Your kids are young. Was it 6, 3?
6, 5, and 3 months.
Yeah, so you're in it, and it's just like insane. And then one day, and it comes before you think. Like, I thought it would come when they went to college. I wouldn't talk to them anymore. Yeah. They're 14 and 17. I don't see them. My son's in Europe. He's 17. He's busking on a London street corner right now. He called me yesterday. He's like, can I buy an amp?
Is he in high school?
He's in high school. Yeah. He'll be a senior next year.
Is this his summer trip?
Yeah, his summer trip, and he's busking in London and working on a music festival, cool. and then my daughter's just like super popular, super like teenager, like loves seeing her friends, plays volleyball, and you just don't see them. She's got a boyfriend. I mean, it's just like And
are you not cool anymore?
No, we are.
They still they like. What's that like? Like, do they still, because I've heard some parents tell you, like, oh, one day when they're 12, you're, like, not cool to them anymore.
I'm definitely not cool to them anymore, but we're cool. Yeah. Yeah. like, you just have to make adjustments. So, like, last night, I had her and her boyfriend over, and I made them dinner, you know, and you know, you're just like, I kind of like sat outside on my deck while they watched a movie. Yeah. But I was like there.
Give them space.
So you get whatever, you take whatever you can get, you know, just like a little bit. Like, can you drive into Calabasas? And you're like, well, this is our time together. Okay. Yeah. You know, I'll do it. Right. And then I sit in traffic on the way back from Calabasas. Like, God damn. But you'll see. I was just shocked at how fast they move on.
Yeah.
Like
okay, well, what my kids are? It's been a hot minute since your kids were my 6 and 5-year-old age. What advice do you have for me? Parenting advice. It could be anything.
Just treat them. I treat them as adults.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like I pretty much let them do whatever they want, and that's.
When did you let your kids get a phone?
Oh,
was that a big discussion for you, or were you just like?
No, I was really bad about that. I got them phones when they were like, I think she was like 11.
Yeah.
Because
well, partly, I mean, you want at some point, I imagine, them to text you like for pickups or whatever, right?
I was in the middle of a divorce and I was living somewhere else, okay. So that was like that's how I rationalized it. I guess was like they can contact me anytime.
Yeah.
You know, and if they need anything, and but yeah, it was too early.
Too early. You'd wait.
Yeah, the phones are terrible.
Yeah. So far, my rule is 18, but I also think
18.
I also don't think they'll. I don't know. We'll see.
You were home.
You know, I was just watching a documentary on Amish kids though, and
Nelk boys.
What?
Nelk boys?
No,
Nelk just
did are they?
No, they just did a video with some Amish kids.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
No, it's by a guy named Peter or something.
You watched a doc on Amish kids. What's that like?
They literally let them just have them go play outside all day. And like when you look at these kids, you're like, I mean, you're like, I think they seem, not that I want to be Amish, but like they seem like they have good head on their shoulders. They know how to do stuff and like, like actually, I don't know, like there's a version where I feel like phones might rob kids of a lot of things too young.
Isn't that tough too? Because that's your line of work too. Everything people watch you on.
My kids aren't allowed to watch my videos just because they've seen a few. Because they've been in a couple, and then I'll want to show them like how it turned out. Like they'll be on set, like why was that guy doing that puppeting thing, you know, whatever, or doing the light that way, and then I want to show them the end results.
Have they shown an interest in it?
Well, that's why we stopped, because they were like, they thought I was magic, and they were like, it would be constantly. And I made the mistake of doing a few magic tricks at home for them, like duplicating their Legos, and they'll still even come up to me and be like, why can't you duplicate this? And they'll be like, give me a lollipop. And I'm like, well, it doesn't work. And they're like, duplicate it. So like, it backfired. And so I was like, they can watch it when they're older. And you know, their friends have shown them a few of mine, which is funny, but they don't like, I get scared opening YouTube. So we don't, they're allowed to watch Dude Perfect, and that's the only channel. You were homeschooled, right? Yeah, I was homeschooled. How was that? I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. Maybe that's why I like the Amish lifestyle. I was homeschooled my entire life except for 2 years where I went to a private school, 8th, 9th grade. And I didn't love private school, so why not? My parents knew it. I mean, it was like so strict, and you had so much homework. My thing was like, is this in California? Oh, Portland. No, Portland, Oregon. Yeah, and so my parents. I mean, the reason my parents wanted to homeschool us is to give us more time for extracurricular stuff like piano, and it was a big thing in my family, so we practiced like 2 to 3 hours a day, had a bunch of teachers, and so piano, they wanted us to learn by the time we were 18 to get good at one thing. If we even didn't have like great education, we knew how to master something. So theirs was like, let's apply it to piano. Piano was kind of random. I don't know why piano, but it's been cool. Like it's fun to play. I play, and it's fun to go to parties and show off the piano skills. If you're at a party, what do you pull out? What song? I like Scott Joplin. It's like the Maple Leaf Rag, or like the classic kind of like bar music back in the Western days. Yeah. Just because it's like it can be sloppy, it sounds good on even if it's a crappy piano. Yeah. But I mean, if you whip out like Chopin or Mozart at half the room, like some of the fast stuff of Liszt sounds cool. Yeah. Rachmaninoff, it's aggressive, but other than that, damn, you're really playing. Like otherwise, it's kind of just, I don't know, it's hit or miss. You got to like know the audience and what will. Do you think that you're homeschooling like because you're just so industrious? Does that help? Where does it come from? I mean, that's where it gave me the ability to like love making movies. Like, because I had we had about 10 acres. My parents had a berry farm and an orchard, and so I would like, you know, be mowing the lawn, but then realize that gasoline also can make cool explosions. And so I'd use that to make like my own explosions and in my action movies. And whatever I saw in the theater that week, I'd come home and like try to recreate. Were you using a VHS camera? I was using mini DV. Mini DV, I had pretty much the whole time. Yep. And it's funny, I still carry that thing around and just film like behind the scenes.
You do?
Yeah, I love it. It's so fun.
You like the way it looks.
I like the way that when you hit record, it's record, like right now, everything on our phone is in an album format. And so like clip by clip. But what I like is watching back an hour mini DV tape. It might be over the course of like 3 weeks in like, not an order that was curated, but kind of like by timeline and sequence. And you can see the things that you were picking up on. So some days I might only record 10 seconds, but it's like 5 different clips. And it's fun. It's just a cool format.
Yeah, you love video. You love the process of it. You love capturing.
Yeah, it's so fun to see. I mean, it gave me a lot of freedom as a kid to see the world through a viewfinder and be able to actually like show my parents, this is what I'm seeing. And, and that's where I think my love of the audience came from. Like every Friday night, we'd have a little showing at my house, whatever I made that week.
Yeah.
And it was like, if I could get them, like, I mean, you probably relate to this. If you get somebody to laugh, it feels so good. Yeah. And then if you get 2 people to laugh, it feels even better. And then like, if you get the room to laugh. And so it's constantly trying to figure that out.
I think. Hi.
Let me also check. Oh, Zifu's here.
Have him come in. Keep the dog out.
Hey, can we run up and open the door? Oh, here he is.
Hi.
This is Zifu.
Hi, Zifu.
Come on in.
I'm Jason.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Right here. Does he need a mic?
No, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it. Here we go.
What? A gift?
This is for you. So Zach's
Zifu
on my team. He
with the
handles all of like the celebrity relations, PR. You guys were just shooting out in Florence.
Yeah. Got my name on it here.
All right, Jason, this is a gift for you. We don't. This is not a merch plug. We don't sell this.
Oh, plug away. I appreciate it. Well, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon Calvillo never gave me anything like this. I know him 10 years.
This is an illusion.
Oh, no way.
That you can see it again. This is audio listeners.
What?
You won't be able to see this. Well, maybe we'll get an angle for you later and insert it.
Oh, let me tell you something. I love this because I drink coffee and I'm all about a thin lip. And this is a very thin lip. Now, let's talk about, oh my God.
You're the first person reviewing the actual ceramics.
Oh, this is insane. Okay, for audio listeners, it's a cup and a base, beautifully designed. And as you spin it, the dog runs.
The horse.
Sorry, I have dog.
We're going to work on a redesign to make that more obvious.
And you made this for what reason?
So a company out of South Korea made this. So we collaborated with them because they have the illusion technology. You know, you can see it's like on here reflecting. So it's like a reflection illusion.
Oh, I see.
And I love that. So it's really one of the first motion pictures. You know, there was a bet for if the horse, when they were running, does the horse actually lift off all 4 feet from the ground when it's running?
Right.
And so to prove it, they took photos, a series, and then they realized, through a zoetrope, if you watch it and you spin it really fast, you can see emotion, and that's how movie cameras the idea of it were developed.
Dang.
So that's kind of a little nod to that.
And you love illusions, huh?
They're fun. They're so cool because it's like it goes back to the reaction of the audience. You might craft a joke.
Yeah.
But I can't craft a joke. Like we try to make some of our stuff funny and nods to things, but they're not full jokes.
Right.
And so for me, it's more of instead of the laugh, it's like the aha moment.
Yeah.
That we're trying to get the audience.
Yep.
But we still, that is my punchline.
Right.
And so that's why I love illusions. It's just a different way to look at things. How often do we see a mug or a coffee cup every day, but you're not double taking it.
No.
But the idea of that is like, what if you did had to take a double take? Because it's just so remarkable in what it can do.
It's really nice. You have like a real great appreciation for life. I wish I had that. I have an appreciation for life, but I rarely take the time to learn about like science and stuff like that, and it is so fascinating.
I think it's different. I think your appreciation for life is like something I don't do, which I imagine you're out in nature or out and about, and you're like looking for things that are funny.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not out there every day like what's funny about me standing in the DMV line right now, or what's funny about me in this situation. But I imagine your brain works in that way. So like I think everyone just has a different appreciation, or the different things they appreciate in life. And it's the people that really continue. Like what makes you crazy is that you made that a career.
Yeah.
Like, well, I can actually pay my bills by doing this.
Right.
Most people probably are the funny uncle and tell jokes on, the holiday parties and have those ready. But
yeah, I've been doing stand-up again, and
you're going on tour.
Yeah, I'm going on tour.
You want to plug that while you're here?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Zach. I'll be in Boston, July 7th, Philly, Austin, Orlando, Tampa. Thank you.
That's a big. So what prompted that tour?
My mortgage payment. Just like, I did everything with David and the guys for about 4 years. We were doing videos. Everything was doing, pretty good. And then he stopped. I had a podcast with him, and he just stopped everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't make videos anymore. And, that's, if I hadn't met David, that's probably what I would have been doing the last 4 years, just doing stand-up and doing on tour. And it was really nice how it worked out, because having a YouTube career allowed me to be with my kids during this time that, you don't like to travel. So that was really cool. I could pick them up from school.
Yeah. Well, what was your schedule like on the daily vlogs?
I wake up, take my kids to school at 8, and then come back.
Because the perception looks like nonstop.
It was pretty nonstop. Like he and I would post like on Wednesday at like the same time.
Late afternoon.
Like 4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then we'd start a half an hour later to try to get Friday's vlog.
What's your writing process for that?
I wish I could say that
like there's no writer's room, there's no brainstorming set, but I'm sure you're like pitching bits, and are you guys talking about that, or is it like, it's all in your heads and you kind of all mind meld and know what
you just ride around and like hope that you thought of something.
Yeah.
But because we made so many videos, we were always looking for an idea.
Yeah.
Whereas your stuff, I feel like, is just really thought out. And you've got how many people work for you?
There's about 25 of us.
Oh, wow.
That work together.
That's crazy.
A lot of that is post-production. A lot of it's producing team. You have people like Zifu, doing random departments of their own. So, but yeah, I mean, we imagine what's different about our stuff is I imagine you had to shoot a bunch and whittle it down. Like, was there a lot of bits that never came out that you remember, but the audience has never seen or will never know about?
It wasn't really writing. It was also, it's just incident based. Yeah. So it would be like, Corinna got a new boyfriend, or Todd's mad at Corinna's mad at Todd because he stayed out too late last night.
Yeah.
And drank too much.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, okay, where are we going? Oh, we're going to Corinna's because she's mad at Todd. And so then now you're in there, and Corinna is actually mad at Todd.
Yeah, right.
And Todd's banging on the bathroom, like, open the door, and she's mad at me. And then now my job is to try to improvise. Yeah. So it's really just improvising. The writing was not, there was no writing because none of us could act.
Right.
So if in any time we tried to script something, that's
what worked
funny
about it though, because you could tell people weren't acting.
Yeah.
Or else it just would change the vibe.
Yes.
I don't know if it would have worked.
No, it doesn't work, and none of us are good at it.
Did you guys try? I mean, how do you know that? Did you?
Because I would try. When I first started with David, I would pitch ideas like, it's a sketch where so and so, and I'm playing a high school coach, and he would just be like, no,
because you guys knew it would be fake.
He knew, and then eventually I learned that he was right. Because I'd come from the sketch world. I'd been on sketch shows on like VH1 and MTV.
Yeah.
I'd worked at Saturday Night Live. So I was like, okay, I know a little bit. I'd made, little sketches. And then, there was something about it on YouTube where at least that audience wasn't having that.
Okay.
I've made some scripted things on my channel. I really like the movies that you've made. Those, like the 3-part
they're so
thing
fun.
You made with Terry Crews. How do you
get
Terry Crews? How does that happen?
Zifu?
What do you pay Terry Crews? Does he come for fun?
Yeah, he comes for fun.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he comes for fun.
Did he really?
We couldn't have made it. We couldn't have afforded Terry Crews.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm watching. I'm like, there's no freaking way they could afford Terry Crews.
Yeah,
right.
That's what's so fun about like Terry and other people. Like, they just want to make cool stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you get it because you were on Vine early and you were on YouTube early. Like, it's just that you have an inkling. Some people just know, like, hey, I should be there, an early adopter of this thing.
Yeah.
And that's Terry. And that's like, he's down to like try and fail. But
he also, it wasn't like I understand you go over and you shoot like a TikTok with Terry Crews. This is a full
I mean, we had him
feature.
for,
how many days did you have him?
Yeah, 5 days of shoot, 6 days of his time.
It's insane.
Yeah. And we tried to plug him and go as fast as possible, but still, it's a production. It's slow. You have however many, 50 crew members.
Can you call up Stranded, Ferris?
Stranded 3.
Stranded 3.
Yeah. It's like a 20-minute short film.
This is a Hollywood-looking movie that's on your channel.
Yeah. And, you know, it was so crazy getting Terry because...
Where are you now, in the desert?
We're out in the desert.
Or you're at a green screen?
No, it looks green screen, but we're in the desert.
The cameras are so good now that it looks
so
green
good
screen.
that, yeah. I literally joked about that shot in post-production the whole time. I'm like, guys, people are going to think it's a virtual production studio because the depth of field.
Like, no, we're in San Bernardino sweating our ass off.
We were out like 6 hours in Glamis, California.
Glamis.
And that was like, you've been there? Do you know?
I've heard of it. Yeah. But it's nothing. There's nothing there.
That's where they shoot some movie like Star Wars desert scenes or whatever. And so every time, like every question to Terry was like, wait, you're down to, are you down to do 3 days of shooting? Are you down to 5 days? And it was like, yes. And then it was like, okay, big ask here. We're going to go 6 hours away to the desert for a week. And he's like, yes. And we're like, every time, you know, and then we're wondering what the kind of like, it was unspoken if this is a collab or is there going to be are we going to get a bill beforehand? Or like, how's it going to work? And we just talked about it and was like, hey, you know, obviously we don't like, what are you expecting? And he was like, oh, nothing. I just want to be I want to do cool stuff with cool people. And we're like, that whole time, I'm literally still thinking like, is there like something else he's trying to do?
Yeah.
But no, like, and there's just people you meet like that are cool, that genuinely just want to make cool stuff.
At the end, he's like, I want you to make me disappear.
Yeah.
He's like, Terry, I don't do that.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, I've met him. He's really cool.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Who else? You work with Tom Brady?
Tom Brady, golf thing, and it was fun. I don't know anything about sports, so I'm the most self-conscious person when it comes to like that week. I had practiced catching a football. I don't know how many times, just because you don't want to look stupid if he throws you a pass. Or I knew in the video he had actually passed to me. But you know what's amazing? Like, I mean, him and if you meet any other football players, they'll throw it right to wherever you have your hands. They can throw it right there. Like, they make you look good, but it's all in them. It's all in them.
We met him. I don't want to go on too much because I always talk about it, but he. My mom loves him, and we met him on the red carpet, and he sat and talked to my mom for like 6 or 7 minutes.
Oh wow, that's a big deal.
Big
she was
deal.
probably like freaking.
Deal.
Was she freaking out?
Yeah, she's from Boston.
Yeah. Was she able to play it cool though?
Yeah, you know, she was, to her credit, she went right into her like earnest. The thing that's great about my mom is like she's so real.
Yeah,
and she just grabbed his hand and she was like, "You brought so much joy to New England. We miss you so much." And then he was sitting there like taking it all in, like I mean, he was her son.
And what a good guy though, because you know he gets that a lot. Oh. Like probably the exact spiel.
Yeah. The exact spiel.
And the fact that he's for 7 minutes going with it, like that you know,
he was awesome.
I think they're genuine people.
He was awesome. And then he even said, she said, my son Jason, and at the end he goes, okay, well, I want to meet your son. Where's Jason? Like that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, Tom.
Yeah.
You get excited when you meet celebrities ever?
I don't get Star Trek, but I get excited. Because you appreciate their work, you know?
Dude, I don't like to say that I get excited, but I've had a few incidents recently. I was like straight up 13-year-old girl.
Who?
Like I like screamed. You know, Mark Wahlberg was like doing like a taco thing. He has a tequila he promotes.
At one of his is it one of his restaurants?
He just brought the tequila into this restaurant down here. Okay. So we got word he's going to be there on Friday from 4 to 6.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to take my friend Joe over and surprise him. And I got Joe there, and he was like, I've already met Mark Wahlberg. He's like, I work out at F45. And I was like, oh. He's like, so it's like, yeah, it's no big deal, whatever. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well. So we're there, and then Mark Wahlberg comes in, and then someone's like, hey, do you want to say hi to Mark? And I was like, yeah, sure. I'll get a picture. Yeah. And then I shook his hand, and I have the video of it. I'm like jumping up and down. I'm like, yeah, I was sick. Like, I don't know. Something about some people. I met Tom Cruise. Same thing. Like, I don't know what that is. You think you're above it, but I'm not at all. Yeah. And I say that to my son all the time because I'll be like, do you want to meet so-and-so? Like, we know some music people.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, no. He's like, I don't think it's really good to like meet people, but I still get super giddy about it.
That's funny.
I don't know what. So you don't get too giddy. What if you met David Blaine? Oh no, you don't. You're not a magician.
Yeah, well, we worked with David Blaine, and I was stoked for that though. That was cool.
He's a cool guy.
He's super cool. You guys have done some stuff with him.
Yeah,
Did you do the breathing thing with him? Was he doing breath holds with you?
I didn't, but I watched him spit up frogs.
Oh, okay.
Once.
He did the hand thing for you. I mean, the needle through the hand with you guys.
Yeah, which is crazy. That's real.
Yeah, that's what
the frogs are in his stomach.
Yeah, no, the people are always like, "What's the trick? What's the trick?"
There's no trick.
He has learned to do these things with his body in crazy ways.
The cool thing about David Blaine is he knows about magicians. He knows all the history of magicians, and he has like a love for everyone's work, and which is important. But there's no one like you.
I think
you're like the first.
No, there are.
Who?
I mean, filmmakers like George Méliès was a magician. And like this is 100 years ago when film cameras are just starting.
I'm not too familiar with George Méliès. I've heard the name.
Like he was one of the classic filmmakers, and he was doing jump cuts and magic, and that's like, and then they all started doing
the 20s.
Earlier than that,
early
19th century or 1900s, and so he was doing jump cuts like straight up. A lot of my tricks I've learned. I wasn't copying, but then I learned later. People would send me them, and be like, "It's just like George." And it literally is like cardboard. I do this trick called cardboard invisibility or whatever. Yep. Or let's say I had a picture of your chair, but it's actually flat cardboard.
Yep.
And then he would turn it to like a real chair or whatever, a real piano from a picture or things like that. And jump cuts. He was known. One of his famous things is the first masking. Are you familiar with like masking After Effects, where like you could crop out someone's head and move it over?
Yep.
Well, we do all that digitally now, and it's super easy. Just click a couple buttons. But back then, you'd have to like print it on the film, like cut out by hand the head masking.
Yep.
And then like put it on each frame. And so he was learning to do that, like basically Photoshop, but with film.
So he would take an X-Acto knife.
Yeah, they would have all these different techniques, or they would just do different kind of
look up George Méliès
exposure things. Yeah, if you look up George Méliès,
Millieu,
I think it's look up like they might have like trick compilate like magic tricks. If you look up his name plus magic tricks on YouTube, isn't it amazing that you can find anything on YouTube though? Like
it's unreal. It's almost
like,
too much.
Yeah, like in deep niches, you can find everything you want.
Yeah. It's almost too much.
I'm playing piano for my church this week.
Yeah.
And there was a music notation I had never seen before. It was like chord F2, and then it had parentheses number 3, and I was like, what's that? So I copied and pasted it from the music, put it onto YouTube. Literally, this person's like, I'm going to show you how to play in C major, the F2 parentheses number 3. It means you don't play the 3. And I was just like, the fact that I could Google that and get a video tutorial on that specific, like even in the same chord or in the same key. I was like, this is too much. This is too much.
Yeah, that's really cool.
The Vanishing Lady. So this is classic, like,
this is classic Zach King.
It is literally classic Zach King, but 120 years before Zach King. So he's putting a sheet over the girl, and then he's just going to do a little flash.
You saw the cut.
You saw the cut.
I saw the cut.
Right? And so, isn't that crazy? Like, same thing.
Yo, this is early Zach King.
Yeah, it really is.
It's really cool.
I don't know if I've seen the Untamable Whiskers. There was some sort of cut there. I don't know what that was, but is he? Oh, I bet he's a picture. Or no, he's what? Did he get old? I missed that one. That's the funny thing. There was like, to me, it's almost early Vine where these filmmakers were so excited about technology because magicians historically have been the ones to push forward technology actually in a lot of different areas. Like as they tried to fool people, they helped invent, like this is a magician going to this form of media and like pushing forward camera technology just so they can fool the audience again.
Right.
And so he's trying to figure this out, but it's early days to me of Vine just because there's like in my stuff, there wasn't a great story. It would just be like a trick, like make my shirt turn into a sweater or whatever. And you're like, kind of like as an audience, you're like, why? Well, was it cold or what was the reason? And then over the years you've learned or I've learned with my team, like we need to have a story around every trick and there's a whole narrative there. Mm-hmm. It would have been cool to see where, if you put some of these people in our modern tech society with our current technology, like what they would do. I always wonder, what would Charlie Chaplin be doing now or George Méliès or Buster Keaton with, no,
they'd be in drama on TikTok. Keemstar would be coming after them.
TikTok would be below them. I think they would just be making highbrow feature films or something. But it's like there's really no limitation to technology.
Yeah,
you can do like there's no excuse to not make something.
Yeah, you really can do so much now.
There's someone watching. They're like, yeah, that's what I always tell kids, and even adults that are like trying to break into Hollywood, who come up, they're like, "What should I do?" I'm like, "Go make a movie on your iPhone."
Have you been approached to make a film?
Yes, we've been in development hell for a couple things.
What is that like? Do you care to make films?
Yeah, I want to make movies.
You do. You want to make like a 2-hour.
But YouTube kind of ruined me. All the social media's ruined me just because I know what it's like to have my own distribution.
Yep.
And make whatever I want to make, whatever the team wants to make, and put it out there. And so I think that's where we're at now. Is it's hard to take those general meetings or go into a network, even though they can finance it. That's the cool part. But then we've just seen in little ways the people that enter the room. You're like, oh, I don't know if I could. Like the collaboration is already such an intimate thing. You really got to make sure it's the right fit.
I think your thing too is tough to. Your thing is tough to bring to movies in that they don't really know what you do.
Right.
Like they can't do what you do. You know what I mean? I think like what you do is so.
I think there's a world,
how can they help you?
I think there's a world where we can. It's just.
You do.
I think we would take a little more creative control and just write. So that's what we're doing now. Is like writing some feature films and figuring out what stories we want to make.
Yeah.
And then getting to a place where we can maintain a lot of the creative control.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, we're already making this. Like either tack on or you don't. But I think for us, the failure has been maybe getting them involved too early.
Yeah.
Where it's so blue sky.
Yeah.
And then we just get off track really early. So taking a different approach, baking it in-house a little longer.
Have you spent a lot of money on a video and it's just not worked?
We try to keep the failure budgets lower. Because
what does that mean?
The failure budgets is like
failure budget.
You can go like for $500 at the studio, go make something, and if we don't post it, it's not the end of the world.
Sure.
If you spend $1,000 doing it, whatever.
Got it.
But at least we tried, you know. Actually, the Harry Potter one was one of those. It was like I forget what it was going to cost us, $800 for the wardrobe and the scooter or whatever shooting day. And it's like at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, we'll come back and reshoot it or do something different.
Yeah.
And so you have to have that. But expensive? No, we kind of stop it early on.
Got it.
There are some expensive videos that we've made that didn't work out. I mean, that get posted and they just bomb.
Yeah.
But like we did this one. I thought it was funny too. Like actually a good bit. It was when gas prices were starting to soar like a year and a half ago. Yeah. And I noticed a lot of comments on Twitter were like, dude, we're going back to the gas and buggy days at this rate.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to pay for gas. And so I was like, oh, that's funny. What if I had a G-Wagon? And then in the same camera move, I walk up, I'm like, oh, gas prices too high, walk around, and it seamlessly turns to like horse and carriage kind of situation, like at the gas pump.
Yeah.
And so we shot the video, we got the whole,
you have a horse
and a buggy and at the gas station and a G-Wagon and the transition. And the edit was really good too. It was like, you can look up, look up Zach King gas video or something, horse gas. It'll come up.
Get a freaking horse out there.
And like we make it, and then the edit's seamless, and then even the sound design's good. And I'm like, this is a banger.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Oh wow, that's great.
And you have the horse, and like, you know, and then we end up driving off. But it didn't.
Keep going first. I want to see the cut.
Well, that's the thing. It's completely invisible.
Wait. I feel so stupid.
See
what I mean when I watch your videos? I get so frustrated.
I know is completely invisible because I scrubbed.
What do you mean it's invisible?
Like, I know no one can find it because I scrubbed through that video frame by frame for hours. Like, we cleaned it up so well.
And so you've got the Mercedes there for a shot, and then you've got the wagon there. How do you line it up perfectly? Like, how do you...
A great camera person. A great camera person.
A DP.
Yeah.
Really?
Not like not even fully professional. Like a lot of ours will be college kids or people we had on the team.
And that didn't do well.
It
didn't do what you wanted.
It got like, I mean, this sounds braggy, but it got 6 million views. Over the course of like a month, though. But that's like
I know you were talking about 2 billion.
But No, I'm
$6
not
million.
talking about 2 billion.
Everything's relative.
That's an outlier. I'm talking like in my mind when I posted that, I was like, in 48 hours, this will have 70 million views.
Yeah. You just don't know.
Yeah, and I have like a weird theory about that one, which is
What is it?
I think around the time there's just I know TikTok says there's no, and YouTube will say that there's no levers backstage, but we kind of know there are some. I think it was throttled, like not allowed to perform, not specifically over that video, but just all gas price videos. I noticed as I looked, it was turning too political. And so, it's like platforms generally try to like shut down some of the political stuff. And so I think gas price related things just were getting less exposure.
Yep.
I want to do a test next time gas prices go up. It could be, a couple of years from now, whatever. I want to have that video ready to go and not mention gas prices in the caption.
Yep.
Because I think the caption is something like gas prices these days, and then I hashtagged a couple things or whatever.
So, and you wouldn't take it down and post it again?
That also doesn't do super well either. I just left it up. I mean, like, there's some videos I'm proud of too. Like, I'm proud of that one. Leave it up. And you never know. Sometimes they randomly, like on YouTube Shorts at least, they pick up way later.
What's a video you've talked about that you haven't done yet? Like, is that something you can share?
Let's see. We have a lot of, Z, you have to remind me, what has been on the jam board for a long time?
The jam board. I love it.
There are a lot. So every week we write, I don't know, 25, 30 ideas on a Monday.
Yep.
And then only 2 of those, if that, will get produced in that week. So
Incredible.
Each week we're probably throwing out at least 30 ideas, that will maybe come back, but probably not.
Yeah.
So every month you're looking at a couple hundred. So there's so many ideas that we've talked about and just never done.
Yeah. Is there one that you want to do?
I want to do this one. I think I need the Red Bull team to help me out, but because I just saw they did this with they floated on a helium balloon a skate park. Did you see that?
Yes.
There's BMX bikers, I think, going on, like, and it's either several helium balloons or I'm not sure what kind of rig that was. Basically, I want to bring a set, like float it 10,000 feet in the air. Yeah, here it is. Okay, look how great. So, but the producer in me is looking at how much weight that is.
Yeah,
and that easily I could build a set less weight than that.
Yeah.
And a room. So it'd be cool to do, and maybe it's like a David Blaine thing because I know he skydives, but some sort of floating set. And then maybe it's like the perfect one would have been doing it a couple years ago, be about Fortnite. Because, in the beginning of Fortnite, everyone jumps out of the bus. Yeah. It'd be that kind of thing, like starting the Fortnite game, but then I jump into the projector screen and it's the game, but then it turns real. Camera would follow me. And we'd also shoot a side-by-side so you could see that we did it practically. But
Jess, could you reach out to Red Bull for Zach? We just work with Red Bull. They gave us $2,500 for my birthday.
Nice. I bet we could build a set for $2,500.
Don't worry, Zach. We'll take care of it. We'll reach out.
Great. Thank you.
We've got this. We'll send you the contact. They'll have at least $2,500 for you.
Yes.
As long as all your friends post.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody. Y'all got to post 10 times. And don't forget to use the hashtag Red Bull ad. Partner. Red Bull partner.
I just had my 50th birthday.
It's so funny. You get these emails, I bet, from different networks in Hollywood.
Yeah.
To send you they're doing all these, ever since COVID, they're doing all these online screeners. Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, we're going to send you guys a huge set of stuff for a picnic with the thing and a login to watch it early. And sometimes you're like, oh, that sounds really cool. But then at the bottom it says, if you say yes to receiving this, you must post. And then it's like all these things. You're like, oh, no, sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, they want a lot now.
But it looks cool.
Yeah.
That $100 bottle of something looks cool with the screener. Yeah. But
all right. Well, Zach, this has been freaking amazing. It's just so nice to talk to you. You're inspiring. You've inspired me to make better videos. I'd love to get into some magic if you ever need an actor.
If you need an opener for your live show, just come out and I can't do magic, so I don't know what I would do.
That would be sick if you could make me disappear. That would be awesome. So I don't have to do the tour. No, I'm just kidding. What's next? What do you do you still love doing this? You've been doing it for a while,
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. Every day is different.
You love it.
Yeah, because you're working with cool people. That's half of it to me.
Yeah.
Is like it's really cool to see a different person. Like if you join the team, you'd bring a different energy and a life and different concepts that I'd never have heard before. Like a lot of people, I get the credit because I'm on camera, and they assume like, oh, it's your ideas or whatever, but it's there's a whole wall behind the scenes happening, behind. And that's what's fun about it, is like collaborating with different people. And
how does someone get a job with you? Not for me, but I'm saying if you're a kid,
asking for a friend, asking for a friend.
Yeah,
it's like,
like if I was a kid in college and I like absolutely like loved what you did and wanted to do what you did, how would I get a job with you? What would they do?
I don't know, be creative in how they reach out.
Yeah,
send
yeah.
Yeah, we don't really hire right off the street per se, but we work with people like, I don't know how they find us, but we usually
send like a video where like
talent.
Maybe the guy sneaks into your office when no one's there.
There's a
films himself.
there's a version where it's like not too creepy,
right?
But it's really
not that guy.
It's like smart,
and
creative.
Smart.
But yeah, video application. We did that back a couple years ago. We had video applications, but it's funny. Like the best ones come right to the top. It's like really easy to hire at that point.
Yeah.
But there's more to hiring than just the skill.
Yeah.
It's like, are they a cool person? Can you actually? I mean, you know, you have to travel with the crew. You have to like them as a human. They have to be a kind person.
Yeah.
And it's hard too now. I know like a lot of teams don't allow people to also be influencers when they're on their team.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the middle where like
she's on Twitch every night.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, I'm going to let you go. This has been really fun. Stay in touch. Keep me in mind. If you ever want to do any magic here, let me know.
If you want to be in Stranded 4, you know, there may be a role for you.
Listen, no pay? Come on. I can't do that.
You got a mortgage.
I got a mortgage. I'll be there. If you need me for something, I will be there.
Yeah.
5 days in Glampus, though, I don't know.
We won't do Glampus.
I could do 2
we won't do Glampus.
in Sherman Oaks.
Okay. Deal. That's as far as you're going.
All right, guys, go check out Zach on all platforms, TikTok. Go to his YouTube channel, which I didn't know about until today. But go to his YouTube channel because there's like all the longer films are there, all the stuff that he puts a lot of money and time and his acting into. Go watch Stranded and go watch some of those films because those are really impressive. Also,
don't forget to pre-buy tickets to his show.
Yeah, go come see me, Boston, Philadelphia, Jason Nash Tour. What's that?
Can they order those now?
They can order them now. JasonNashTour.com. Thank you, guys. Finally, somebody helping me out.
You got a plug.
All right, guys. See you next time.